With the NHL trade deadline coming to a close, what are some realistic options for the Dallas Stars if they try to make one last move? That's next on Locked On Stars.
Your Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans, and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer, a 105 Through the Fan, and play-by-play voice of the Chippewa Steel. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Happy Friday, Stars fans, and more importantly, happy NHL Trade Deadline Day. Can the Stars make one last move before the clock strikes 2 o'clock Central Standard Time when the trade deadline officially comes to a close? So let's take a look at some of the options that may be out there for the Stars. Realistic options. Can they make something happen? We've seen a lot of teams do that over the past few days. Stars taking on the Ducks tonight on the front end of a back-to-back game 2 of this 3-game West Coast road trip. We will preview the Anaheim Ducks, and we'll play Shooting Star to finish this one off. Let's have some fun on a Friday before we head into the weekend. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more right now. New customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. So I think we can all agree that the Stars are pretty good up front. There's no need to add any depth pieces in terms of the bottom 6. Of course, you're never going to say no to a good depth piece, but the Stars have scoring. that has not been an issue throughout the season. So I'm not really taking a look at any forwards here, but mostly defensemen, right? Trying to build up the D-core, trying to bolster that side of the puck, because Chris Tanev is going to solve some issues for the Dallas Stars. And I think we saw that in game 1 with San Jose, and you have to give him time to practice. He just arrived in San Jose and just went on the ice. They haven't had a ton of practice time with him yet. So as the weeks go on, he'll become more comfortable, you would think, and more cohesive with his partner and more connected with the Stars in general. So there are some defensemen that are out there, and the Athletic has an article that kind of updates live on everything that's going on during deadline week. And there are a few names out there that I think are very, very interesting. A very familiar name in Matt Dumba. And I know a lot of Stars fans may cringe when I bring up that name, but I think he's truly one of those defensemen that you hate playing against, but you wouldn't mind if he was on your team. Dumba's an interesting situation. So he's a UFA at the end of the year. His cap hit is 3.9. Of course, the Stars just have under $2 million in cap space, so they would have to move some pieces around. Ty Dellandrea is someone that is expendable, but he's not going to be valuable enough in order to make that move work. There would probably have to be some other moves involved to make Matt Dumba work. And with most trades, if the Stars were going to make one today, they would have to move a lot of pieces around in order to bring somebody in. I saw in the comments yesterday, Chychrun was brought up, and I love the name. I really do. I think he's a solid player. I know the Stars were rumored on him a few years ago when he eventually got moved to Ottawa. I don't see that happening. Chychrun's way too much, and Jim Nill's not going to do that. And Chychrun would be interesting. He's still so young. He does have some term. I don't think the Stars are in the market for that. I think they would rather have a rental at this point. So Dumba seems like a more realistic option. And I don't hate it. It just depends on, who you're moving and whatnot. I know Radek Faksa has been thrown around a bit. I just don't think the Stars are willing to move on Radek Faksa. They really like him. Pete DeBoer loves him. And look, I like him too. He's so valuable. He's great on the fourth line. He wins draws. He's great in the defensive zone. I think he's a real integral part of what the Stars are trying to do. And you may not like the sound of that, because why would you not take a chance to make your blue line better? But I don't think Radek Faksa is someone the Stars are going to be willing to move off of. But Dumba is intriguing at 29. He's a right shot defenseman, which we all know the Stars need, and it would force DeBoer to put Miro on his strong side. And hopefully they even do that moving forward. I would love to see Tanev with him. We'll get a look at the pairings tonight. That's going to be a real intriguing development as the weeks move on. So Dumba, I think, is realistic and would be interesting. Another one is Erik Johnson. And The Athletic has him as someone you should avoid. It says teams love a veteran presence with championship experience, a former captain, rugged right shot defenseman. But they say he faces some of the softest competition in the league, and on the Sabres, giving up 0.36 more expected goals against per 60 and 0.83 goals against per 60 with him on the ice. So they say his value is really low, and he's 35 years old. But also it's someone that is frankly realistic. If the Stars wanted to go after somebody like him, of course, won a cup with the Colorado Avalanche a few years ago, but he's making $6 million. Well, it was back in 2017. So that's another one that I guess you could throw around. I don't know if the Stars want to go after a 35-year-old rental. I think they would love to have somebody that could have more of an impact and a more slow and mobile version of what you already have. It doesn't make a ton of sense, that's for sure. So the Stars have some I guess some work to do if they want to make a move at the deadline. I'll be honest, I don't think they are. I think they're pretty happy with their team. And whether we like that answer or not coming out of the organization, I think they're pretty happy with it, with what they've been able to trot out there on most nights. And it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And I know what other teams have been doing recently causes some concern. But I think with some of the injuries the Stars have had, you're going to get Sagan back, and Dodonov will probably be back come playoff time. Stankoven is kind of your spark, and you may have another one in Maverick Bourque. Maverick Bourque could get called up at any point. Throw him in the mix, get him some time, and who knows, maybe he cracks the lineup in round one if he shows some life during the final stretch of the season. I think that's a realistic option, and a quote-unquote deadline acquisition, right? Bringing someone in to make something happen. Stankoven was kind of your depth forward at the trade deadline, more than a depth forward with the pace he's on to begin his NHL career. So yeah, there's a lot of intriguing candidates out there. I think Dumba's the most realistic, but haven't heard a lot of news out there. Doesn't seem like that's a name that's been floated around a ton. And who knows if the Stars are even interested. I think they went out, they made Tanev. That was kind of their splash. And I think they're kind of okay in ready to rock with this roster. And of course, you don't want to get overzealous and overspend for a rental. So, and I'm okay with that. I truly am. I mean, it's a team that's been in the top two of the Central like 85% of the season. They've done a lot of things right. And they don't have the luxury to make a ton of moves and use the LTIR to their advantage, so to speak. It's just that's the way it is. So yeah, that's kind of my little blurb on possible trade deadline targets and really where I just realistically see the Stars are at. I think they're okay. And I think the front office made their move in getting Chris Tanev, which was phenomenal. We can't forget that. It's a fantastic move. At least right now. We'll see moving forward when it really matters, but I think it's a good move, and time will only tell, right? Time will tell on all of these moves that have happened over the past few days. Okay, let's segue into some Anaheim Ducks talk. Let's preview the Ducks. Stars taking on Anaheim, front end of a back-to-back, looking for another win on the West Coast. We'll do that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Factor. Eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to go in just 2 minutes. You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every week, including Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and even keto options. There are more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up and feeling good all day long. What are you waiting for? Get started today and get after your goals. No prep, no mess meals. Factor meals are ready to heat and eat, so there's no prepping, cooking, or clean up needed. You have a busy life. You don't have time to go grocery shopping every day. You have work. You have extracurriculars. You want to live a little even after work, and you don't want to have to think about what you're going to have for dinner that night. Factor makes it easy. It's flexible for your schedule, and you can get premium options, no cooking required. Go ahead, sign up and save. They've done the math at Factor. It's less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. Head to factormeals.com/LockedOnNHL50 and use code LockedOnNHL50 to get 50% off. That's code LockedOnNHL50 at factormeals.com/LockedOnNHL50 to get 50% off. Be sure to check out Locked On Sports Today, Stars fans. It's available on YouTube, the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. It's also on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. They are here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with local experts, plus the Locked On National Show. Some good stuff over there. Be sure to follow Locked On Stars. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Seriously, you Stars fans are the best. And any of you that have hopped on board recently and now are rocking along with me every single day, it really is truly appreciated. I've had so much fun coming on here every single day and just speaking to you, the engagement in the comments, the discussion that goes down. It's truly been wonderful. It's just a heck of a lot of fun. And this is when it gets real. And there's urgency. And I think the NHL regular season has a really, really nice regular season, probably better than most sports besides the NFL. But I feel like compared to maybe some of the other regular season sports, it just has some urgency still after all these years in the 82 game schedule. It just makes it so fun. And it's getting to that point where everybody's gearing up and the cards fall where they may. Stars taking on the Ducks tonight. You can catch that on SiriusXM, the hometown broadcast. Just go ahead and search Stars to catch it on the SXM app. Another late one tonight. Man, those San Jose games, I did not realize how late it is after those games end. 9 o'clock start, though, here against the Anaheim Ducks. And the Stars have already faced Anaheim a couple of times, a 4-3 win in overtime back in late January. And they also defeated the Ducks in what was like the third game of the season, 3-2. So they've played some really, really tight games. They've struggled on special teams, specifically the PK against Anaheim. They've actually done all right in terms of on the power play. They've been able to use that to their advantage, and the Stars are coming off that completely thrilling 7-6 win over the San Jose Sharks. The Stars really need to limit guys like Troy Terry, who had a field day with Dallas last time out. McTavish also had a really good game. And another player that I think a lot of people love, Leo Carlsson, who was a top draft pick not too long ago. He has dazzled in 40 games this season. They've kind of kept him on a load management kind of scheme, but he's been really, really fun to watch here early on in his career. In terms of some of the head-to-head stats, Stars ninth in terms of power play percentage at 23%. The Ducks at 19%. Their penalty kill is bottom 6 in the league. They're pretty decent on the faceoffs, and they don't score a lot, and they give up a lot. It's just been a real down year, but Gibson seems to play phenomenally every time he takes the ice against the Stars. And look out for Lucas Dostal. He's come in and had a season 904 save percentage. The goals against average is really bad at 3.51. But he's young at just 23 years old. And he's put together a few incredible games this season. And they're 5-4-1 in their last 10. So they're on a bit of an uptick. Of course, they're big sellers at the deadline. But I think Anaheim's in a really good spot. And this is a team that the Stars have had fits with. I mean, straight up, they have had their had their moments with the Ducks, and they've had their moments with a lot of teams. Of course, I mean, the only thing that I'm really, really keen on is the defensive pairings. Hakanpää and Suter cannot be together. That cannot be the right decision. Figure it out. They rocked with them the first time out. They put Tanev with Lindell, which I don't hate initially. It kind of can be your real shutdown pairing, which of course is valuable. But Lundkvist needs to be in the lineup. I truly think Lundkvist has to be in the lineup. Him and Suter have actually been fairly decent together. I think you rock with that chemistry. Lundkvist is a mobile defenseman, and he's been very productive, but he hasn't been given a ton of rope, a ton of leash to just let him play. And I think he's earned the playing time. He's earned a chance to battle it out, to be an everyday player come playoff time. And if you don't, if they don't like that, or they don't see that, then throw Hakanpää back in the mix. If you want to go back to your veteran, go back to your veteran. But I think it's not a disservice to Lundkvist, almost a disservice to themselves for not just giving him a chance, right? To prove that he's ready to play big time hockey. And if it doesn't work, just go back to Hakanpää. That's your backup plan. But you got to figure out where to put Hakanpää to make it proper, to make it work. Because Suter and Hakanpää didn't work. And I found that out 2 minutes into the game. I found it out 2 minutes into the game. Never again. I'm telling you, my head's going to explode if I see that pairing again. And I don't care that they're veterans. I really don't. It doesn't matter. They need to put the defense in a position to succeed. And that wasn't it. That wasn't it. And we could have all told you that. Maybe it wasn't as obvious to the coaching staff. Okay. That's my big gripe. And they won the game. They won the game, but I still want to gripe. Okay. Shooting star. I almost called the Stankoven hat trick. I know you heard that early on in the week. I almost called it. And I was just throwing that out there, to be completely honest. And he should have buried the OT winner. But Kähkönen made a couple of nice saves there in 3-on-3. Who will I bless tonight? A late night affair in Anaheim. We're all going to be starstruck by my shooting star pick in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Indeed. If you need to hire, Stars fans, just go ahead and get Indeed. You've heard me talk about it all week. If you're hiring, you need Indeed, because Indeed is the hiring partner where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. It's the only job site where you're guaranteed to find quality applicants that meet your must-have requirements, or else you don't pay. Don't worry about candidates that don't have the requirements that you're looking for. And that's what's so great about Indeed. Don't spend hours on other job sites trying to find candidates that you hope will work. With Indeed, you already know they have the right skills with Indeed Instant Match assessments and virtual interviews, so you can find great talent and, more importantly, save you time. Instant Match. As soon as you sponsor a post, you get a short list of quality candidates with resumes on Indeed that match your job description. That's all you need. Indeed makes it easy to hire great talent. According to ComScore, Indeed is the #1 job site worldwide. Join the 3 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Start hiring right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your post at Indeed.com/lockedon. Offer valid through March 31st. Go to Indeed.com/lockedon before the end of the month. Claim your $75 credit before March 31st. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. You need to hire. You need Indeed. Okay, Stars fans, I feel really good about this one. I truly do. It's been a line that's been snake bitten recently. It's been a line that hasn't produced at a clip which we've seen for 60 games this season. And today's pick is Mason Marchment. I'm going with mush. I feel so good about this. He's 1 point away from tying his career high in points. He's going to smash his career high. He just needs to get off the schneid. He's so close to the 20-goal mark. He's got 18 on the season, 46 points. It's been a while. Marchment went on that incredible run in February, but he's got no points here in his last 6. He's bound to break through, and it comes tonight against the Ducks. Mason Marchment. Doesn't that name just feel phenomenal? You let me know who your choice would be in the comment section below. I went on a heater in February. I've certainly cooled off recently, so I have to get back. I need to get back on the horse, and I like it. I like Mason Marchment, who's had such a good year. The acquisition of Duchesne has certainly helped him. 113 shots this season, which is a great bounce back from a season ago. He's just putting a lot more on net, which is a great sign. And he's been rewarded with it. A shooting percentage of 15%, which is a tick better than his career high when he had his career high with 47 points. His next goal is also a career high. So he's just putting up a ton of good numbers. He's such a good forechecker. He's so good on the walls. He's physical, and he just gets to the right areas. He's going to get rewarded tonight. He's going to get rewarded. So you're welcome, Mason Marchment, for getting you off the schneid. I will wait to receive your thank you notes at a later date. But for now, a goal, maybe two, would be more than doable. More than doable. Alrighty. That's going to do it. I kept it short and sweet today. The trade deadline, of course, closes at 2 o'clock. So we'll see if the Stars make any more news. It's a tough thing about recording these episodes at this time of year. This whole episode could be completely scrapped depending on what goes down today. But look, I got other things I have to do, so I can't just almost be live, unfortunately. So I too many other things that I'm dealing with. But you bet your bottom that I'll be locked in, and if the Stars make a huge move, I'll be there to live react to it. So you just be on the lookout for that. But until then, enjoy the rest of your Friday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I saw that it was raining back in Dallas, so maybe the weather's not going to be great up here in Wisconsin. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. It's like golf season already. So I'm thriving. I am thriving. Have a great weekend. Stars, Ducks tonight, 9 o'clock puck drop for that one. We got the Kings tomorrow. So let's hop on board, gear up to finish off this West Coast road trip. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on Monday. So long, Stars fans.